Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, no wind, July 8th out here. So, as you know, being up north, spraying, just come back down south here to do a bit of a crop tour. And we haven't done much of a crop tour down south, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on some stuff. This here Durham crop, which is just nicely coming into head. Is that grass that we seeded. It's a little bit shorter than the rest of the Durham. It is right about knee height. But all in all, it's actually looking pretty dang good. We seeded this quite a bit lighter than the rest of our crop, just due to we knew it didn't have near the subsoil. Well, nothing had subsoil, but we knew that this definitely had the least amount of any because it grew a crop of grass last year, and then the grass kept growing until it just sucked all the moisture right out of it. Our hopper situation, there was a hopper here somewhere. Is I have no idea because I haven't been down here in probably a week, but we're gonna find out. It shouldn't be too bad. I haven't heard that it's too bad for my family because it was so cool, wet, and it was actually freezing a couple times during May and June. But that is all behind us. We have some serious heat coming our way. And I'm a little worried about our princess crop that we have here because it really hasn't had to put down much for roots. Maybe this stuff has, but the majority of it has not because it's had an excessive amount of moisture. Maybe not excessive, but it's had a decent amount of moisture throughout the growing season. You know, a couple tenths here, a tenth there, a half an inch here, a couple tenths here, just to kind of keep it going. Keep in mind, we've had zero subsoil moisture for the last 3 years because we've been in a crazy drought. And it takes a significant amount of rain to replenish that subsoil. We have not got that to replenish our subsoil. We've been going hand to mouth with our rain, which is fine as long as it keeps raining. Now, long range forecast, next 2 weeks, summer's here. I see 32s, 33s, 34s, some 35-degree days with some winds up to 20, 30, 40-kilometer winds. Those are what we call the crop cookers. You'll be able to smell this crop burning out here, which is probably going to trigger my PTSD. Hopefully, it just is what it is. We know that we get hot down here we get hot and windy down here during the summer. And this year has been delayed. Typically, we would be into the 30s by now already, by the end of June, never mind July 8th. But we're very thankful for the crop that we've got here, and we hope that we can get it finished off. It's a little patchy. Remember, it was super dry when we seeded this, shaking my whole drill apart. Still a little patchy, little thin, little patchy over here. Very thin right in here. But that's okay. Looks really good though, you guys. Looks really good. It's okay to have a thinner crop. There's not a lot of moisture down here. There's a few grasshoppers. There's a few. Nothing really, I don't think, to be too concerned over, but... And again over here, a little thin. Only a couple plants right there, a little thin. A few more plants there, a little thin. Anyways, that's fine. That's fine. This is probably already too heavy for the heat that's coming here this next 2 weeks. Summer's here. We're going to be here. Our prayer is that we can grab some thunder boomers when it gets hot without the white stuff, and grab some moisture out of that to cool the crop down when it gets really hot. All right, let's go see what else we can find. All right, so we've left that Durham and we are now looking at some Kabuli chickpeas. Kabuli chickpeas are the larger of the chickpeas, and also known as the garbanzo bean. There is some volunteer mustard out here. You can kind of see a little bit of some yellow. These are clear field, seeded on mustard stubble. It is expected to see some volunteer mustard coming through because we've had some rains down here. Now, let's see what we can find. Chickpeas are flowering. So, we are looking for Astachyta. And there is Astachyta here. We've sprayed them twice for the fungicide. And it's not uncommon to have to spray 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The most we've ever sprayed is 8 times. Let's hope we don't have to do that. Last time we sprayed 8 times was in 2016. 2016, we think we've had, I don't remember how much rain we had, but we had like 24 or 28 inches of rain or some crazy thing during the growing season. So right now we're sitting at about, down here, we're probably getting close to 6 inches. 5.5 anyway. So quite a ways off our 2016 crop year, but so let's see what we can find. Chickpeas also get, chickpeas are also wet. They produce their own moisture. They got a crazy taproot. They go down a long way. We always joke around that, you know, anything that you seed on a chickpea stubble is going to be about 3 bushel back for sure, because they just draw so much moisture out of the ground versus your other lentil or field pea. Now, so what you want to do, you can see that they're kind of glistening, a little wet. It could be 35 degrees outside and these leaves would still be wet. That's just how chickpeas roll. You want to start at the top. I want to look for the top. I don't want to see anything on the top growth. You work your way down. You give these little leaves a little wipe so you can clearly see them. Grab the sun. You don't want to see any spots, any freckles. Spots and freckles is bad news. That's bad news. We don't have any pods yet because we're still flowering. Once it starts producing pods, the danger of Astachyta increases due to that it can easily spread to your pod. Astachyta will start with a little spot on your pod, then it will spore out and it will abort that pod. And some pods have up to 2 peas. And that is a quick way of losing yield. And then once it gets worse, it will move off the pod or off the leaf, get into the stem or the branch, and maybe it will, you know, because each one's going to keep putting pods on, or flowers and pods, and you could have like maybe 3 pods hanging off of one branch, and it will grab a little bit of disease right here and then abort this. And then you'll just get, they call that lesions. So all your branches will start falling off, which also hold pods. So basically, long story short, you can actually lose a crop of chickpeas very quickly. We have never lost a full crop of chickpeas, but gosh, we have come close a few times. Like there was some 911s on the fungicide. You know, you're spraying all night, don't matter the conditions, trying to save the crop, and it can just happen so fast. It's like I always joke around, it's like leaving a campfire going in a dry forest without watching your Astachyta. It can happen very quickly. But you always want to check new top growth. Top growth is super important. You're always going to probably find some down here in the bottom because, you know, it was down here when you needed to apply your first fungicide. Now you applied your second fungicide, the plant has grown. Let's see what we can find, some old stuff here. I'm sure we can. Hold on one sec. All right, it did not take us very long to find some. Okay, so this here plant, it's got quite a bit on it. So we'll start down here. We'll wipe these leaves. I'm going to zoom in. See all those brown speckles? That's Astachyta. and pretty bad asticota actually. So you're like, okay, well, it's definitely at the bottom end of the plant. Okay. So you want to keep working your way to the top. Oh, we moved up a couple branches here. Hold on here. Sorry. I'm trying to look through my camera. There's more. Brown speckles. See if we can work with that sun. No, guess it's not going to work with us here. Oh, here we'll go up some more. More brown speckles. Not good. Let's keep going up. More brown speckles. Not good. All right, we're into the new growth here for sure. Wipe these leaves clean. So far, so good. Could be starting right there. Okay, let's go up to the top here. If you got anything on the top, you're already too late. Meanwhile, I already touched the asticota and I'm already spreading it to the top. Okay, so far so. All right, so that tells me that we don't have a lot of time between it. So we're sitting at about, oh man, when did we spray this last? Right before Canada Day. 29th, 30th or something of June. And then today is July 8th. By the time we get geared up, we already have our fungicide. But of course we're not ready yet because we're doing other things. Probably be a couple days. Yeah, time to go. Gonna be time to go. Now the heat that's coming is gonna help the chickpeas. Now chickpeas, I should also mention, are a non-determinate crop. That means that as long as there's moisture, they'll keep growing. So that is a nice thing and a bad thing at the same time. So if you got disease and you're getting lesions on the bottoms and you're aborting some pods on the bottoms, well, it keeps raining, you're gonna keep producing new pods, and you know, you're gonna lose some yield, but maybe you can keep gaining some yield at the same time. You know, they kind of keep growing through it, hopefully. Downside is you keep getting rains late, they'll still green, still stay green, they'll keep greening back up. They could almost be coming in naturally because maybe they're running out of moisture. Then you get an inch of rain just before harvest and it greens them back up again. So which is the reason why you have to desiccate them, to kill them, because they won't die until they run out of moisture. So pros and cons. So that's the chickpea crop. I should probably make sure we got some water and chemical and sprayers are greased. It's basically going to come down to Brian. I think Brian's going camping. You want to go camping? So Brian. Speaking of Brian, he's spraying lentils. So these lentils are small greens and they look awesome. This is a track here. Look at these bad boys. They're flowering like crazy. Shouldn't be any pods on them yet. Just flowering. Yeah. So we've already hit these with a fungicide and foliar. Same as we did with the chickpeas, except we're 2 fungicides in plus a foliar. And we won't spray these again. They won't need it. The only thing that we might have to keep an eye on is aphids. And we had some pretty good lentil aphid pressure last year, and we did have to spray for aphids last year. Wouldn't surprise me if we have to spray for them again, But this is a really nice crop of small green lentils. Small green lentils, I have red lentils and large green lentils. They all look the same from here. But they're all canopied in. So you want to put your fungicide and your foliar on just as they close in, like the rows close in. And then obviously if it was to have a crazy wet year, there's, you know, you probably have to spray them twice for fungicide. Your lentils also get Astachyta, but it's not the same strain as chickpeas, so you don't have to worry about me walking in chickpeas and then walking in the lentils. It's not the same thing. And then we also have anthracnose. Well, we don't have anthracnose, but they can get anthracnose. And that is down at the root system. In the bottom stems, kind of turns brown, pinches it off, can't get its moisture, can't get its nutrients in. It's never good if a crop can't get its nutrients. There is some grasshoppers out here, which is to be expected. We had the biblical plague of them last year. We sprayed for hoppers pretty much all year last year. Well, there's quite a few grasshoppers. Maybe you guys can't see them. Some grasshoppers jumping around. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, these lentils look awesome. It's been a long time since I cut a good crop of lentils. Most of my lentils have been, well, you guys know. It's been like 5 bushel or less. There's Brian here coming again, spraying lentils on that side. All right, let's just walk across the road here, and we got some Durham. Oh, fell in a badger hole. Watch that, Mike. Don't fall in a badger hole. It's been a long time down here since I've seen such a nice crop of Durham, you guys. This stuff's way taller. It is thigh height. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, man. Really nice looking crop of Durham. Now this is our early Durham. We got some late Durham that's just about to come into head. We always split our Durham up for risk management purposes. We did not have to use any fungicides on our Durham. The only thing that we're gonna have to fungicide now is just the chickpeas for the rest of the season. Everything else is fine. Especially with this heat coming. A little worried about this heat coming as this stuff is gonna start flowering and filling. Hopefully we don't end up with Trudeau wheat, all stand, nothing in the head. That's always the concern. All right, guys, that's a bit of the crop tour. I will catch you on the flipper. Adios, amigos.